So welcome to today's video. I realized my last video, I didn't even introduce myself. So what the heck? So my name's Emily. I am a transformational life coach. I help people to look at their emotional and energetic blocks that are holding them back from finding happiness, finding their purpose, and experiencing all that life has to offer. So today I want to talk about the whole idea of how you only have control over yourself, your actions, and your decisions. Let me give you a little bit of a story. So I grew up in an environment where I felt a lot of the times that I had to change myself into something that wasn't authentic to me in order to be accepted, either by my family or even friends. I never really felt like I fit in with anybody. And so as I grew up, I became this kind of like chameleon where I could step into these different identities so that I would be liked and avoid discomfort, right? Even though I was feeling really uncomfortable inside, but external discomfort. And I got married. I've actually been married twice, and in both situations, they were pretty emotionally abusive, right? And because that was something I was kind of used to and accustomed to, because I already had such low self-worth from my childhood experience, which didn't just involve my family. There were things, at school that fed into that. So, lacking confidence, lacking worthiness, and just being a person who felt that, love needed to be earned, for example, or even looking for love and imagining it in places that it wasn't. For a long time, I blamed my circumstances on everything outside of me, and I took zero action or responsibility for what was occurring in my life. So allowing all of these things to take place where I was being mistreated, disrespected, etc., and instead of changing myself and taking myself out of the situation, I was spending all of this energy trying to get the other person to change, trying to show them that they needed to change because, for whatever reason, my self-worth depended on that connection. It wasn't until I understood how important it was to look at my own belief systems and how they were truly affecting the experiences that I was placing myself into unconsciously at the time, that I was really able to change my life and change my situation. So if you are in a situation where you're experiencing unwanted behaviors, maybe emotional abuse like I was, physical abuse, and I know it's not that easy. It's not as easy as just changing yourself. There are other steps that you need to take. But you also need to take the inner self-empowering steps of learning to love yourself, learning to set boundaries, learning that you are stronger than you think and you are worth more than you know. Because ultimately, you can sit and beg somebody to change all you want. Nobody is going to change until they are ready to change. So if you are in a relationship where you are not willing to change, and that doesn't mean changing so that you are bending to what the other person wants. It means changing into a space where you are filling your authentic space. What is authentic and feels empowering and feels good to you. And they are not willing to change, aka take responsibility for their side, then you may need to cut yourself out of that situation because you are not worthy of abuse or disrespect. And that's not to say that like there aren't going to be times where you and a partner aren't or a friend aren't going to have, disagreements, but it shouldn't get to the point where you feel like you're walking on eggshells around this person. I remember becoming physically anxious and sick when my ex-husband would be coming home. I would hear the garage door and have a physical reaction of trembling, pit of my stomach, nervousness. And I stuck with it because I didn't have a sense of my own value or worth. I had beliefs that nobody would ever love me, so I might as well just allow what was going on. I had beliefs that because of my childhood experience, that type of treatment that I was receiving was completely and totally normal. And so if you're in this kind of a situation where you're, with somebody who is emotionally abusive or otherwise, I would really tell you to take some time to look at your beliefs about yourself and start to feed yourself positive beliefs. You're not more than likely you are not going to shift your belief system overnight. You have to become dedicated to yourself, and you have to continue to desire to want to change, and you have to stay dedicated to those new beliefs. If you check out my website, I actually have a belief system inventory that you can download, and it will walk you through several common limiting beliefs. There's about 80 of them on this page that you can look at and say, does this resonate with me? And is this something that I want to change? And then the sheet helps you to create a new belief that you can then begin to use as affirmations or, for visualizations if you do that kind of stuff. I guess the moral of the story here is the only person you can change is you. Ask yourself if you're ready. Are you ready for something better? Are you ready to experience joy? And if you are, take a long, hard look at yourself and ask yourself, what areas do you have beliefs of being things like unworthy, unlovable, not good enough? And make it a point to change those beliefs.